Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Martha from Martha Is. Today's video is the first part in my April book haul. I think we've established by now that I am very rarely able to fit a whole month's worth of book buying into a single book haul video. I doubt that's going to change anytime soon. So, for the sake of consistency, here is part one. So I've really been on a bit of a binge of buying from independent bookshops. So since lockdown and everything, I've just been so concerned about losing the amazing independent bookshops that we have, so I have been buying with abandon. And I think my buying has actually accelerated, if anything, because of lockdown, which is not what we would have expected, but here we are. So first independent bookshop, first purchase is Pages of Hackney is an amazing independent bookshop in East London. And I've never actually been there, and I was hoping to go there soon. So we were hoping to visit its sister shop, Pages of Cheshire Street, on the March book crawl that we did, but unfortunately it was shut. So and I think now is going to be kind of shut for a long time because they're looking for new premises. So I haven't been able to go to Pages of Cheshire Street or Pages of Hackney. So when everything kicked off, I thought, well, at least I'm going to try and buy from them online words online. And what Pages of Hackney have been doing is recognizing that they have a shop full of stock. So that's what they've been posting out to people, is they've been posting pictures of what they have in their shop on their Instagram stories, and then you can email them and request it and they will send it to you. So the one that I bought from them, so they took a picture of one of their display tables, and I spotted this and decided, yes, that's what I want. So this is Biased, Uncovering the Hidden Prejudices That Shape Our Lives, excuse me, by Jennifer L. Eberhardt. So I hadn't heard of this. Is completely spontaneous, so I hadn't heard of this book at all, never come across it. And actually that's another reason why I really want to go visit Pages of Hackney as soon as possible, is because they really focus on women authors, LGBTQ authors, BAME authors, so basically underrepresented voices is what they really focus on. So so this is, as you can imagine, it's a book about our kind of unconscious bias and really uncovering that. So Jennifer Eberhardt is a social psychologist, and in this book she's exploring how unconscious biases affect us at every sector of society, from the classroom to the courtroom to the boardroom. So I thought that sounded really interesting. So then the next indie bookseller that I want to talk about is Back to Books. So I've talked about Back to Books in previous videos. It's a friend of mine, Alexia, who sells books, again focusing on BAME, LGBTQ authors. She is a one-woman band, and she sells mainly via social media. So if you find her on Instagram, which I will link down below, she can send you what she has. So 4 books that I bought from her earlier this month. Wait, no, that's not true. I think I've already shown you this one last month. Yeah, I think I have. Ignore that one. I bought 3 more books from her. Not 4, 3. So she is also running a challenge, which again I think I talked about in last month's video, a reading challenge for 2020. And so I asked her to send me books which were by independent presses based in Birmingham. So the Emma Press is one of those, and so she sent me Tiny Moons, A Year of Eating in Shanghai. So this is one that I hadn't heard of at all, and it's a collection of essays about food and belonging. Nina Mingya Powell's journeys between Wellington, Kota Kinabalu and Shanghai, tracing the constants in her life, eating and cooking, and the dishes that have come to define her. Through childhood snacks, family feasts, Shanghai street food and student dinners, she attempts to find a way back towards her Chinese Malaysian heritage. So that sounded really interesting. And then these 2 books here, so you've got the Bible and the Bible Volume 2. So these books are essentially essays about being bisexual. And this is something that I know that Alexia was really keen to promote because she had not heard. So she identifies as bisexual, and she had not heard many kind of bisexual voices come across that many. And I'm the same. I also identify as bisexual, and I've not really read many or any bisexual voices. I probably have, but not consciously, not knowing it and not talking about bisexuality. I think bisexuality is something that really can be overlooked. So bisexual people tend to, for example, experience a lot of prejudice within the LGBTQ community, not only outside of it, because there's kind of a perception that can come from anywhere really, that bisexual people are just greedy, or they can't make their mind up, or that they might be gay and just don't want to admit it, or all sorts of things like that. Really horrible, pernicious myths, and that's absolutely not the case. So, as I can attest, I am bisexual. I am not just greedy. I just like people. I like men and women, and that is okay. So those are the 3 books I bought from Alexia at Back to Books. The next indie bookshop that I want to talk about is the Feminist Bookshop in Brighton. So you might have seen from previous videos, I've been kind of visiting Brighton a bit more recently and have been going into Dave's Comics to pick up graphic novels. And I had not clocked the Feminist Library, otherwise I absolutely would have been going in there as well. But in lieu of my first in-person visit, I'd made an online order and I bought 4 books from there. Spending quite a lot of money. So the 4 books that I bought from the Feminist Bookshop, 2 of them I have already read and reviewed in my previous video, my mid-month wrap-up, and they are Mirror Tidebreaker by Danielle Page, which is a DC graphic novel, and Fearless and Fantastic, which is all profiling the various female characters in the Marvel Universe. So I will link my other video down below so you can check out my review of those. And then the other 2 books I bought from the Feminist Library is another graphic novel called Threadbare. Well, is it a graphic novel if it's non-fiction? Threadbare, say the whole title, Martha. Threadbare, Clothes, Sex and Trafficking. So this is this draws the connections between the international sex and garment trades and human trafficking in a beautifully illustrated comics series. From the sweatshops of Cambodia to the traditional ateliers of Vienna, from the life of a globe-trotting supermodel to the warehouses of large clothing retailers, from the second-hand clothing industry to the politics of the sex trade, these thoughtful illustrations offer a practical guide to a growing problem few truly understand. So this is something that I have kind of been aware of for quite a long time, but I was kind of reminded of it when I went to see the film Greed, which stars Steve Coogan and is a thinly veiled expose of Philip Green, without actually being Philip Green. I can't remember what the name is that they give the character. But yeah, it's talking a lot about sort of a very rich man who's made a lot of money off fast fashion and asset stripping, and but at the end of the film is a whole there was quite a lot of stuff about the real fast fashion industry and the statistics and and the damage that it does. So that was kind of in my mind, and so then when I was looking on the Feminist Bookshop website, I saw that and thought, yes, I'm interested in that. And then the final one I bought is Pain and Prejudice. So I discovered this via Lauren Wade Reeds, who I will link down below. So she read this and she said it was absolutely excellent. So this is all about women and their bodies, and so the author was diagnosed with endometriosis, but it says here 14 years after being diagnosed with endometriosis, Gabrielle Jackson couldn't believe how little had changed in the treatment and the knowledge of the disease. So you find I think there are a lot of statistics showing that actually diseases that disproportionately affect women are diseases that we know a lot less about, because I think the wider issue is women tend to be underrepresented in medical research generally. So there's a thing which I think is becoming more well known, that the symptoms of a heart attack are different for women than men. You get drummed into that if you've got like shooting pains down your arm, you're having a heart attack, whereas actually a lot of women don't have that. And so there's lots of diseases. So you think of like the female cancers, diseases like endometriosis, chronic illnesses such as ME and MS tend to disproportionately affect women. So And unsurprisingly, those diseases tend to be ones that we know less about, because the people who are in power and who have the money to be able to be funding the research and funding the treatments and making sure those things are happening, they tend to be men. So you see how it all becomes a bit of an issue. So I thought that book looked really interesting. I think I'm going to stop. Oh no, I have one more. Sorry. So I have one more, which is I can't remember where we got this from, because my husband ordered it for me. I think it may be Forbidden Planet. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. So N.K. Jemisin is an incredible author. She wrote the Broken Earth trilogy, which I basically would recommend to anyone and everyone. It's this trilogy of books that is high fantasy and it's just so complex and so nuanced, and the representation is amazing, and the story is amazing, and just everything about it is amazing. And you think of like a trilogy of books, you'll always get at least one which is weaker than the others. It's usually the middle one, because the middle one's kind of like a filler or whatever. But no, this trilogy, every single book is fantastic, and all three of them each won the Hugo Award, which is a literary award for the fantasy sci-fi genre. All three of them won the Hugo Award, like separately. So that should tell you they're all brilliant. But yeah, so this is her new book, The City We Became. I actually literally have no idea what it's about. I haven't even read the blurb. It's like N.K. Jemisin. Yes, please. Should I read the blurb? Do you want to know? What's it about? Shall we see? In Manhattan, a grad student gets off the train and realises he doesn't remember who he is, where he's from, or even his own name, but he can sense the beating heart of the city, see its history, and feel its power. In the Bronx, a gallery director discovers strange graffiti scattered throughout the city, so beautiful and powerful it's as if the paint is calling to her. In Brooklyn, a politician and mother finds she can hear the songs of her city, pulsing to the beat of her Louboutin heels. And they're not the only ones. Every city has a soul, some are ancient as myths, and others are as new and destructive as children. New York City, she's got 6. I still don't know what it's about, but I don't care. It's probably brilliant, because it's N.K. Jemisin. I'm going to stop there. There are more books I've ordered, but we'll save that for another video. Let me know how you're all doing. Let me know if what you've been buying, if there's any other independent bookshops that are still selling. Please let me know so I can kind of look at supporting them. I've been also buying from Mr. B's Reading Emporium, of course, because they are amazing. Yeah, I hope you're all doing very well. And if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye!